Good morning, everyone. Just as an aside, I'm really excited to be here and honored to be invited to be part of this conversation. I have been living away from Buffalo for the past 10 years and was always inspired to move back. So I moved back. I got my master's in urban policy at the New School in New York, and I studied and worked there and did homeless housing, and there was always something kind of pulling me. And I would try to figure out jobs, and I found out about One Region Forward, and I was like, this is a really great thing that's happening in Buffalo. And then I luckily landed at LISC, which is a great community development organization. So I'm really excited and just inspired by all of you being here and taking time to be part of this greater effort. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about LISC and then some of the work we've been doing in terms of community development and housing development in Buffalo. So LISC, which stands for the Local Initiative Support Corporation, is a national organization with a local focus. We have a simple but ambitious mission. We assemble cash and provide management assistance to support our partners so they can transform distressed communities into healthy neighborhoods that are good places to live, to grow, to nurture businesses, and to raise families. To do this, we provide capacity building assistance to our partners and help identify program opportunities, assess financial feasibility of projects, assemble project financing, and carry out project implementation. This is just a little interactive map. So ultimate goal is to work in distressed and low-income neighborhoods to make them great places to live, to do business, and to thrive. The Buffalo office has been open since the late 90s, and thus far we've leveraged over almost $200 million into the greater Buffalo area through almost 300,000 square feet of commercial space, and we've helped develop over 1,600 homes and apartments in the area. To do this, our goal is to make reasonably sized, long-term strategic investments in disadvantaged and low-income communities. Our work is grounded in 5 pillars that we call building sustainable communities. First off, our most important priority is to expand investment in housing and other real estate. We seek to increase family income and wealth, stimulate economic development, improve access to quality education, and support healthy environments and lifestyles. From what you all know about One Region Forward, LISC pillars are kind of in line with the 5 big ideas of One Region Forward. Most importantly, we focus on expanding housing choices in neighborhoods that are great places to live. So why is it important to have affordable housing and housing in low-income and distressed communities? Affordable housing, as you might have learned through some of your One Region Forward stuff, means that your household, excuse me, it's considered affordable when it accounts for 30% or less of your household's income. As you can see here, these are just some examples of low income and very low income, the percentage of their income needed for rent. So a family of 4 in poverty and can afford just under $500 in rent a month. Now, many of you have heard, I'm sure, and seen in media and in national media outlets like CNN, Forbes magazine, and then Buffalo Rising jumps on those bandwagons, that Buffalo is the most affordable city in the country. While this is true for some people, it's not true for a lot of our low-income neighbors. Over 50% of Buffalo residents are paying more than 30% of their income in rent, which is a huge problem when you think of sustainability and One Region Forward's mission in making neighborhoods that are great places to live. If you can't afford to pay rent, how can you afford your childcare? How can you afford healthy food? How can you afford getting to work in a reasonable time? It all ties in together, especially then if you're living in a neighborhood that's overall distressed and you don't have access to good transportation or healthy food. LISC housing strategy seeks to bridge those gaps in affordability, and we've done a lot of housing development ranging from reinvesting in single-family homes or rental properties, supportive housing, which is housing for formerly homeless individuals that might have suffered from other things like mental illness or substance abuse, We've worked with doing vacant housing and vacant lot rehab across the city of Buffalo. So these are just some examples of how we have been working and implementing our 5 pillars of sustainable communities in Buffalo. Are anyone here familiar with the Promise neighborhood efforts, kind of north in this area? So we've been working with the groups over there to have an integrated approach for building sustainable communities. One of our efforts has been through Belmont Housing Resources, which is a large-scale affordable housing developer in Buffalo. We've worked with them to rehab 10 houses for low-income homeowners in the Promise neighborhood. We've also done some work with BART especially and UBRI on the Burn Criminal Justice Initiative, which is using data and tools to target crime and work with law enforcement partners to reduce the crime. They're also doing a lot of great work with corner stores and the city to make sure corner stores are assets and not liabilities. So the Burn Criminal Justice work has been great, and BART has been really involved in presenting this data to the community. We just had a meeting on Tuesday of this week, and they've seen some reductions in crime based on the feet on the ground that they have because of this initiative. The Children's Academy, which is a great whole-scale approach to getting kids while they're very young and helping their parents have a sustainable education model so that they can go to college. We're also doing a lot of work on Bailey Avenue. We've done a whole-scale commercial revitalization effort with all the business owners there to see how they can improve their storefronts, make Bailey a thriving commercial strip again. We've also done a lot of work with PUSH and on the west side of Buffalo. Over 12 years ago, we started with a community planning grant to kind of develop a strategy to deal with vacant housing and some of the other issues in the area. PUSH, as you'll hear from Aaron, is a rock star on the west side, doing a lot of great work with a ton of innovative ideas in terms of energy efficiency and water management and community organizing and all those great things. So we're so proud to have them as a partner. We also support them in the Grant Street After School program, which is this great opportunity for kids, from high school students primarily on the west side, to have a place to go and have educational support as well as just community. And they have great groups where they have girl talk, guy talk, and they can just kind of deal with the issues that they're having as teenagers, like we all did. We also have given a lot of support to Grant Street, and hopefully when we hear about some Better Buffalo Fund awards, we're going to do a second round of doing facade and Main Street type renovations to buildings to make Grant Street a more vital commercial district. So, like all the work that you've been doing, and we hope to be a partner, we can build sustainable communities. So that's that. Thank you.